And now it says setting up your webinar for Facebook Live. Done. Redirect to the Facebook Live page. Okay, looks like we're live. We're live, I think.
Oh, hey. For real this time.
Yay. Okay, so Jenn and I are so excited to be here. Admit among technical difficulties of trying to figure out this Facebook Live for the first time, but we're excited. So yay. How are you, Jenn?
I'm awesome. Thank you. How are you?
So good. So good because the kids are in school and preschool over here in Arizona.
I got Monday. Monday is mine are gone and I'm going to miss them. I'm going to definitely miss them, but I'm ready.
Yeah, it's time.
Take them back. Take them back, teachers.
Educational environment is always good for them. Yeah. Well, I'm Amy Broughton with Photo Business Tools. This is Jennifer Winder. She's an amazing photographer. And we're going to just spend a few minutes talking about Jenn's experience of her transition she went through with her business last year. And so, Jenn, why don't you start off by just explaining kind of what type of photographer you are, what you do, and kind of go from there.
So I consider myself a portrait photographer. I mostly photograph families. I do photograph some weddings. I used to photograph a lot of weddings, but I am a mom of 4 and they all play competitive sports. And so I had to make that hard decision to, you know, transition away from weddings and shoot more of the families because it just fit into my life and my schedule. I do some corporate headshots, but if you go to my website, all you'll see is families on there, and they're a lot of fun. I love getting out there running around with parents and their kids and creating awesome moments for them. So it's very fulfilling. So that's what I do.
Awesome. I love family photography myself too, but we're, you know, just going to be talking today about sometimes the struggle that happens when you're starting your business and getting to a good level and then needing to get to the next level and how hard that can be. So I know when we first met, you were kind of in that zone of trying to like manage family, manage life, manage this business, make it successful, make it worth it. Can you tell us about some of the struggles you were having like before we, you know, started working together?
Sure. So I just a little backstory is I was in the corporate world. I was a marketing manager for a big insurance company, and I oversaw the marketing for 2 states. And then I had my children and I wanted to be there for them. And we had some financial struggles during the recession in 2008. And I decided to pick up my camera at that point and, you know, help, you know, bring some money into the family. And that was all well and good for a little while until I realized that making $50, then $100, then $150, then $200, you know, I bumped along the way and I was kind of getting panicked at, are people going to pay me $200? And I got past that. And then I got to that $500 mark and had a nice steady stream of clients at 500. But for me, when I looked at all of the business expenses and everything that went into it, that just wasn't cutting it. And that wasn't really making it worthwhile for me to leave my family. And I did not know how to get to that next level. And I didn't even know if it was possible because I was looking around at all the other photographers. I live in Denver, in the Denver area, and there are phenomenal photographers. And they were charging $500 and less. And I thought, how on earth are any of us going to make it if this is what we're doing? And I was pacing myself with the competition, and I just did not see a way forward in my business. I didn't know how to get higher paying clients. I didn't even know that higher paying clients existed because I already felt like as a shoot and burn photographer, I was on the high end of what I was making. And so I just cried. I mean, I remember getting my, it was like towards the end of the year, and I looked at how much I had made and I just started crying. And I thought, how on earth can I keep doing this? I was actually kind of pissed off, to put it, you know, sharply. Like I was so mad at all the effort that I had put in to working and for my clients. And I was happy to give them gorgeous images, but I was so disappointed in where it left me and my family and my role as a mother. And just our home life. It was really sad because I was working a lot and the paycheck just did not reflect the effort by any stretch of the imagination. And I I did not know how I could continue forward. I did not know how I could possibly raise prices and get people to pay that, because nobody else. I mean, there was maybe a select few, some of like the big studios that have been around for years and years, but that was a business model I couldn't even wrap my head around as just a mom working out of her home. But I knew my work was good. I knew that it was good enough, but I didn't, I mean, still had a lot of self-doubt with that, just because there's so many amazing photographers. And I think that in the photography world, we're all always reaching for the next thing. And we can always see that there's room for growth. I mean, I feel like in photography, in my mind anyway, like I will never arrive. Like, I feel like there's always room for improvement. There's always room for growth and bettering your skills. But as far as that business financial piece, here I was, this marketing manager over 2 states for a big insurance company, and I did not know how to market my business, and I did not even know if I could reach further in my business and even make more money. So I felt broken. I felt discouraged. I felt sad. I felt sad for myself. I felt sad for my little kids who, would just see me walk out the door. I was supposedly a stay-at-home mom, leaving my kids at every turn, and I had no work-life balance, and I had not the right income to even justify what I was doing.
Yeah. Such a common story. We actually talk to photographers like this all the time. And, and some of them might hear your story, Jen, and think, wow, she's making 500. That's amazing. I would love to do that. But tell me, like, in your story, why was 500 not enough? And why was that still a struggle? Because I know you started at 100 and then you had that thought too, at one point, if I could just make 500. And
yeah,
500 and it's still feeling like it's not worth it. Why?
Well, the area that I live in is really expensive. And I don't know. You just can't really keep up making that. And I guess 500 is a lot of money. And I don't want to discredit anybody that's at that $500 point, because it's a good place to be. Like, I want to help people get to 500. Mm-hmm. But when I looked at how much I was working, social media, editing, and I looked at the hours that I was putting in to getting those clients to pay me that $500. Mm-hmm. And then, I was looking at my business expenses and what it would take for me to get somebody to hire me at $500. Like, I felt like I was high end, working tons and tons, and just not bringing in the income that would justify the amount of time that I was working to bring in that 500 per client. So it wasn't, if I was doing certain sessions, I guess, a certain way, then the 500 would be justified and it would make sense. And it might even actually be a really good income. But the way that I was running my business and the experience that I was trying to provide for my clients, and then the time, just the endless hours, the endless almost obsession over trying to get my business to that next level, it did not justify what, that balance between the hours spent. I mean, my hourly wage was probably $4 or $5 an hour. I mean, that wasn't acceptable. And my kids would say, "Oh, you're going on another shoot, Mom. You're going on another shoot, Mom." And it was just breaking my heart. And I'm like, this isn't worth it. So.
Yeah, I think so much of what you said is true. And the other part of that is like, in some cases, like, making that 500 can be great, but also, like, we're here to make our lives amazing for ourselves and our family. And a minimal income can be great, but also the amount of time that you spent, like, developing your craft and doing all the marketing that you're doing. What we see a lot of is people spending hours just to make the 500. And
yes,
the business model we like to transition into is to where you don't have to spin so many wheels, but you're able to bring in twice or triple that. So that now you have a lifestyle you enjoy, that you're relaxed. You love doing photography because you have the time to put that much effort into each client, enjoy all of it, and still enjoy your family at the same time.
Right.
So part of it's the money, but also part of it's the work behind making that money. And so many business models with photography are like doing so much work to make this much money, when we'd like to have things streamlined to where you understand you're that good a photographer, but you're bringing in this much money. So it makes it so much more worth it for your time of your family and all of that, because your family is so important. So.
Right. And the other thing is the amount of money I needed to bring in for my family, and how much I was going to work, like how many sessions I was going to need to do at $500 a month.
To
you
be-
know, or at 500 a client. I think it's working and running those numbers, and, you know, your output needs to really match that income. And my output and my income were way off. And so I needed to be able to streamline also what I was doing and not spending my wheels in the right places, but put those efforts in the right place. And I will say, I do have some clients that pay me $500 now. I mean, that is my entry point, and I am okay with that. But I know that there is more out there. But every client at the max was 500 at that point. And it was, and the other thing with that, it was how they would respond. Like, I was expensive, and that was like, they, you know, like, it was a push to get that.
Yeah.
Now I'm at a point where it's like a no-brainer. They're like, oh, $500, I can do that. And so all of that kind of, you know, I wasn't there. It was like scary for me to ask that.
Yeah.
And so anyway, yes, the 500 is not bad. And if I structured my business a certain way, that would probably actually be a good thing for me.
The other part of that too is the client's experience. Like, so, you know, you have them, the $500 client who has a response one way, and then when you can create such a better experience for them and better products for them, and now you're doing wall galleries, and we'll talk about this more in a minute, and they're spending 2 to 3 times, and they're crying and just so grateful and thanking you profusely on their way out the door with this beautiful wall gallery that they now have to enjoy, not only for their home, but for generations. You know, that's a totally different shift on the business model as well.
Right.
Is what you're
Right.
able to provide for the client, instead of just like get them in, get them out as fast as you can so that you can feed your family.
Yeah.
Do so much more for them and have such a better experience for them as well.
Right. And again, and I think that comes down to my personal personality. And I guess that's why that 500 wasn't enough, because when you looked at the all-in expenses, there was a lot of costs involved in that. And now, you know, I can, if I was, you know, here's your images, you know, run in and run out. And then for me, they weren't, I mean, this is again a personal preference, but their images would sit on the computer, and I was not okay with that. As a photographer, creating these gorgeous images for their clients, like, I wanted more for them, and I wanted to be able to structure my business in a way that gave them more. But let me tell you something, I did not even know how to do that, and I did not even know that was possible until I met Amy. So there's a lot of good things that happened when I came into Amy's program.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So we met, you were in the state, you were super frustrated, you were even questioning like, what direction do I go, if I even go in a direction. And then we started working together. We shifted how you did your business model from like this, like, you know, just digitals to now doing in-person sales, doing wall galleries, that higher end client, looking for them and how to help them. And even some of your regular clients came back and are still not paying the higher end prices.
Correct.
Experience just shifted so much for them. And so tell me now, like, how has your life changed, and what's been great about being in this new business model now that you have been able to shift over to that?
Yeah. So just going back just a few steps backwards, because I think that this is significant. In that state of frustration, I was desperate. I was desperate for help. And what I was seeing out there was a lot of people teaching me how to take pretty pictures, and a lot of people teaching me how to grow my audience on social media, which isn't not really that grown. And I've learned that that's actually not that important to have a good, successful business, but a lot of time wasted in the wrong places. And I had just that growing frustration there. And I remember just thinking, who is out there that can actually help me run a business? Like, I need help with my business. I don't need to know how to take a pretty picture. I mean, sure, I can get better about you know, get better with that, but like, that's not where I'm at now. I can take a pretty picture. I can connect with my families, but I need to know how to make money. I need to, and the other thing is at that other income, I mean, I wasn't even running a legit business. It was all, you know, with my tax or with my social security number. Anyway, all that stuff. But sorry, Amy, I'm going to get to the good stuff. So I remember when I came across Amy, I felt like it was an answer to a very heartbroken prayer. I remember just listening to her webinar, like clicking on that button, listening to that webinar, and I felt like I was like she knew my pain. She knew what my business looked like, and she knew where I wanted to go with it. And I hadn't even met this woman. I was just listening to this webinar, and I just knew that this was what I was looking for. This is what I needed help with. And so when I talked to Amy and she talked about my business and my struggles, and she took that time, I mean, we were on the phone for over an hour, and she uncovered everything that I was feeling, all of my pains in running this business. And she could just really relate to that. I just knew that I needed her in my life. I knew that that was the next step that I needed. And so I took the jump. I talked to my husband was on the phone with Amy also. We talked about this together on the phone with Amy. And, he was very supportive. It was scary because, investing in your business when you've spent so much time and investing in your equipment and so much time investing in everything, you feel like, oh, I'm watching these YouTube videos and I'm following these other photographers and I'm learning from them. All you're doing is learning from other people that are doing it wrong. And I finally was talking with somebody that knew how to do it the right way. And so to be able to go from that fear of like, is this really going to help me? I have been working so hard. How is this going to be different? But then also trusting it that she was explaining something to me that was like, completely different than what I had been experiencing. I took that jump. I decided to take that jump and to invest in myself and invest in my business in a very different way, and invest in my family and invest in my family's future. And I came into the program, and I will tell you, I was probably one of the sloppiest students that she has ever had. And I implemented I don't even know. She probably thought that was a little crazy, but I just did the program. I followed the systems. I did what Amy told me to do, and it literally changed my business. It changed my life. It changed my confidence. And I think that the confidence piece I don't even know. I'm going to try to explain this. Like, I feel like I'm a pretty confident person. Like I've always had good relationships in my life. But when it came to my business, I didn't have that confidence to know what to charge because I just didn't know how to run it. And so to understand my business and what my business needed and what I should be doing to help my business, it helped me become confident in how I presented myself to my clients and understanding my worth and my value, and that I should be able to charge these prices because of the experience that I was offering and because the images that I was delivering. Like, I did not have that confidence. All I saw myself was just another photographer in a sea of photographers already charging a premium compared to other people. And so to be able to make that shift, to expand my mind, to be able to see beyond what I could see, what I already felt like I'd maxed out, but to just increase my vision, and to just really get that confidence and just know that, you know what, I'm not out there for everybody. But guess what? Oops, sorry, let me just decline that call. Hopefully it wasn't a client trying to book. No, I'm just kidding. But to be able to just see that there's a much bigger world out there, and so much more that I could bring into my life through my business, that I could bring for my family through my business, and to trust those strategies that are just not really being taught properly in the photography world. Like I said, you can find a million photographers that can teach you how to take a pretty picture, but there's not people out there that really can show you the way to have a successful, fulfilling business that will give you that work-life balance that I so desperately needed. I went from making $500 a client to changing my entire business model to making $1,500 to $3,000 a client consistently. I had 2 clients last fall stick to that $500. Everybody else wanted more.
Yeah.
They wanted to spend more money. They thought that they could get everything that they needed at that 500, and they could have, and I would have been happy with that. And I would have been happy for them to have that. Mm-hmm. And I know everybody's needs are different. And so that's why I wanted to still offer that out there, but they wanted more. I mean, I had clients that, they'd spent $350 with me the year before. Mm-hmm. And they came to me and I just said, this is my new model. And
Yeah.
it was scary. I knew I was going to lose people, but I knew I was going to gain the right clients. And I knew some would come along and some wouldn't. But I had systems in place that were going to bring in the right clients, that were going to bring in those clients that wanted me and wanted my business model. And some of my clients did come along and some didn't. And that was okay. I had to become okay with that. But one client in particular, I had shot their family, like I said, the year before, and none of those pictures were on her wall. She spent $350 for them to sit on her computer to never be looked at. The next year, she paid me, she gave me the basic package. She initially bought that at $500. She ended up spending $1,500. And literally, as she's writing her check to me, she was crying and she was grateful. And she was so she was crying and thanking me and giving me more than 1,000 than she had given me the year before. And she had these beautiful images on her walls now. And the whole process became so much more satisfying for my clients, so much more satisfying for me as far as that client relationship goes and what I was delivering to my clients and the gift that I was giving them, but then also my family life. I got that back. And I got, the ability to have that balance. My kids are like, oh, you're going on a shoot now, because it's not every night and because it's not all day on a Saturday. I'm very present with them and I have that work-life balance that I craved. So
that's amazing, amazing, amazing. And so I love too that you touched on how she wanted more and your clients all wanted more. Sometimes the way we establish our business, it's almost like we're orthodontists just giving people a bag of braces to go home and put on themselves,
Yeah, totally.
Like bring them into our offices and sit them down and educate them and then put the braces on for them and then meet with them every month. So make sure the whole process is done right.
Yep.
We close off opportunities so frequently for our clients to have that full experience by not offering more and by not showing them, hey, you can have this. And we tend to have these fears as photographers, like, they're going to think I'm salesy. They're going to think I'm a salesman, a used car salesman. I hear that all the time. I don't want to push them. Well, it's not that at all. It's that you're not offering to help them. It's such a service. It's such a beautiful experience when you can do that for a client and have them. I remember one client, she decorated her hallway with all huge, and then her entire playroom. And then in her living room, she had a big, huge one on top. It was like so awesome. And she was like so thrilled to have these beautiful images of her family being loving and connected and enjoying each other. And that just was so good for the kids' self-confidence, for the family to feel love and united. I mean, there's so many benefits that we are providing. We're not just taking pictures. And so by shifting that business model, it's just amazing what you're doing, not only for yourself, for your family. Sure, your bottom line has changed and you're making more money, your time and all that. But really, it's like, how is it affecting you as a mom, being able to be better with your family? And then how are you helping these families as well? Because now the kids are walking into their home and they're seeing awesome, lovely picture of their family connected, united. They've got memories. I have so many newborn photographers who are doing albums that are going to be something that, those babies are going to be 5 years old and sitting on their mommy's lap looking at these beautiful pictures of them. And how do you think they're going to feel? And then when they have their own children, to be able to have that album, it's just to it. So I love that you open yourself up to that for your clients to be able to serve them more on a higher level. So
yeah, and I think that with that, again, it's like we're giving that to them, but we're also just bringing it's even if you didn't want to do that, even if you didn't want to have them help them put the picture on the wall, which I want to do, that's a gift to me and to my clients, and it's something that I truly enjoy. It makes that process so fulfilling. But the thing is finding those clients and being able to service them that way, that's hard to do in a sea of photographers. And so knowing that, here I am, this mom of these 4 crazy old kids, 3 boys, okay? It's crazy around here. And little diva as the caboose. Being able to pace myself in my business the way that my family needs me to pace myself is huge. So I know how to go get more clients if I need them. I know now how to slow down if my family needs me to slow down for a month. I know how to create the momentum to bring those clients in. And those strategies are priceless. I did not know how to do that. I thought posting on Facebook and posting on Instagram and telling all of my friends, hey, I'm a photographer, was going to be enough. And it was not enough.
Yeah.
It was not bringing in the clients that I needed. It was not bringing in the clients that, you know, I wanted to work with. And so even more so than being able to give them this amazing experience and have a great business model, it's more about bringing in, knowing where to get the clients and knowing that they're going to come and knowing how to continue to go get them. And I wanted to say, oh man, my mind just went blank, but let's just go with that one for now.
All good things. Okay, so what we wanted to do is just share Jennifer's experience because it's been so life-changing for her. And we're doing this with photographers all the time. And we're doing it in a couple ways. One is that we're just doing a 1-hour strategy session where we just jump on the phone with photographers, help them like work out a lot of things we did with Jennifer on that phone call of like, okay, what's not working in your business, why, and what direction do you need to go? And then, you know, if we're fitting something, you know, we can show you how to help, we can help you and show you how to get to where you want to go. And sometimes that's not a good thing. Like, we're not a good fit or you're not ready for us. And we can still point you in the best direction. You know, we get emails all the time of people saying, thank you so much for the clarity. And that's what we want to do is give photographers clarity so they know what direction to go next to up level themselves mentally and monetarily and, you know, emotionally, and their help their families in all those ways too. So, you know, if you are interested, if you're stuck like Jen, you know, as described her life was, or if you need some direction, or if you're just ready to go to the next level, maybe you're not stuck and you just are ready to up level. Okay, I've been here for a while, I'm ready to go. You know, we would love to talk to you and help point you in that direction and help give you that clarity you need. So if you would like to do that, we can have you jump on a phone call with me, Jen, another one of my teammates. Jen's now helping us do this because she loved the program so much and she loves helping these photographers so much. So we'll have a link in the comments below if you're interested, and we'd love to visit with you. So any final words, Jen?
Yeah, I just, as regarding the strategy sessions, I've been working with Amy for a little over a month now. I was just kind of ready to help other photographers the way that I was helped. I remember when Amy, I talked to Amy about possibly working with her, and she said, well, what about strategy sessions? And I was like, wait, what? You mean I get to talk to photographers and help them with their business the way that I was helped, and like give them the opportunity to like change their lives? Like, okay, where do I sign up? Like, how quickly can I sign up? And so I just want you to know, anybody that's out there just thinking, you know, do I want to do this? I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about your business. There's no pressure for me. I literally just want to help you talk through your problems and talk through your pains in your business and help you just gain some clarity in your life. Like, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want your business to look like? You know, what do you want this, how is this going to help you? You know, like, how can we help you make changes? Let's talk about those things because, you know, and like Amy said, if it's not a fit or if it's not the right time, that's okay. You know, I have never gotten off a phone call, whether they come into the program or not, where I have not been grateful to be able to talk to them and to help them just gain some clarity. Like, it is a gift for me to be able to do that. So I would love to talk to you. I would love to just bring that clarity. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Yay, me too. Same thing. And you know what, that's the thing. It's like we do help so many ways. So just join us, jump on a call. We've got our calendars open to fit around our family, your family. We'd love to help you out in any way. So if you have any questions, feel free also to post them on the comments, and we'd love to get back to you that way. But thank you so much, Jen. And
yeah, thanks, Amy. I'm so excited to be working with you. Amy's the best, you guys. She really is. She's here for you.
Thank you. Have a fun last weekend.
Soccer tournaments. That's where I'll be.
That's where you want to be. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Okay, thanks everyone, and we'll chat with you soon.
Thanks,
Bye.
Amy. Bye.